Welcome into the CHGO Blackhawks postgame podcast. I'm Jay Zawoski here with Greg Boyson. Mario Tirabassi is at the United Center and will join us in a little bit. Thanks for being with us after a very disappointing 5-0 loss to the LA Kings. Oof, we got a lot to get to in this one. We're going to get to the game, of course. If you haven't heard the news, Lucas Reichel is going to get recalled. Should be made official any moment now. So we'll talk about that too. But we're going to start with this game. Before we do, please do us a favor and smash that like button for us. And make sure you are subscribed to our YouTube page. If you're listening on the podcast, we love you too. Make sure you're following or subscribed wherever you get your podcasts. And we might as well get the three stars and the 4-star nominees out of the way.
Sure.
Right away. 3 stars of the game, Alex Laferriere, P.L. Dubois, or Pudwack Dubois, and Anze Kopitar are your 3, 2, 1 stars of the game. Here's your nominees for 4-star. Ryan Donato had 4 shots, 6 hits, 15:08 of ice time. Peter Mrazek, in relief of Arvid Soderblom, made 22 of 23 saves. And Landon Slagger, in his NHL debut, 10:32 of ice time, 2 shot attempts, 2 block shots, 1 hit. And as Greg put it before the show, 0 things fucked up. So congratulations to Landon Slagger.
It's a very low bar tonight, and he stepped over it.
Yes, get your votes in, and we'll reveal the winner at the end of the show. I feel like we should start about this show about Arvid Soderblom because depending on where you were on Twitter during the game or wherever you maybe you were on the members-only Discord on the CHGO Discord page, a lot of blame going towards Arvid Soderblom.
It's hard to blame him really for this one because the defense was just ass in front of him.
They were hanging him out to dry.
That was one of the worst defensive periods they've played all season, and they've played a lot of bad defensive periods.
Yeah.
The only goal that I really can even throw some shade at him for was that third one because he was so far out.
Way out.
But his responsibility was the guy with the puck at the shooter. Somebody on his defense is supposed to have the backdoor guy covered, and nobody did all night long.
All night, all season.
And so that was really the only one I could criticize him for. But again, don't go that far out. But with a guy wide open, no matter where he's at, that's going to be a goal.
Yeah, but Bedard or Korchinski has to stop that pass from getting through. They have to be aware. This is the thing, and as we talk about young players developing, these situational things are going to figure out, right? Like, because at this level, everybody can make every pass unless you're on the Blackhawks, right? Like, so Byfield's going to make that pass every time on the tape. So they've got to be aware. Okay, Soderblom's out challenging the shooter. We've got to make sure the back door is covered because if this guy passes, we're screwed. And it's going to be a goal, and that's exactly what happened. And look, we talk all the time about how where there's games where, like, maybe you don't blame the goalie, but you'd like to see them make that big save here or there. I guess you could maybe throw that Soderblom's way in this game, but still, the way the defense was playing in front of him, it was bad.
He didn't get pulled because he was awful. He got pulled because, hey, let's wake up here. And Mrazek was good, and Chris T is asking why did Mrazek not start? Well, you got a quick turnaround. You're playing again on Sunday. Soderblom has won his last 2 starts. He's been
all right.
Better his last 3 to 5 starts.
Yeah.
He still has some, flaws to his game that are constantly there, but he's been better, and he's won his last 2 starts, so why not reward him with a start? And that period wasn't on him. It wasn't like we've seen a lot this year where he's given up a juicy rebound right back to the middle and then it goes in, or he's way out of position. Yes, again, he was way out of position on that third goal, but nobody covered the wide open guy. Even if he stays in the crease and he's focused on the shooter, that puck's still going in the net.
Yes.
Because the guy is wide open Who was the third goal? Was that one of Kopitar's goals?
That was the third goal was Kopitar's first.
Yes. So Anze Kopitar is going to bury that no matter if Soderblom is in the crease but making his way over or at the faceoff dot like he was for that goal. Yes, he was way too far out, but the end result would have been the same because they just did not play team defense for the first period.
And let's be honest, like we have Mrazek as a 4-star nominee and deservedly so. But he also had a little bit of luck go his way in this game that Soderblom did not. There were some bounces that happened to just go past him or whatever. There was a couple times where he was way out of his crease, and they just actually the penalty he took, the slashing penalty, was because he went for a swim out of his net. That happened a couple times in this game.
And he, as you said, like the first goal against Soderblom was a shot that goes way wide, hits off the end board, probably on purpose, right on the stick of Dubois, and Soderblom's up in the crease, so easy goal.
Yep.
The second goal was a great redirect by Lafreniere, the other Lafreniere, and then Kopitar is Kopitar. I mean, the dude is still a machine.
The ageless wonder.
He's a machine. You know, he might be like minus 800, 900 points. He might be the next Jaromir Jagr as far as longevity, because he does not he's the next Patrice Bergeron, because the LA Kings showed you tonight what playing a team that actually plays really good defense and is strong down the middle does. Two things that the Arizona Coyotes and the Anaheim Ducks lack. Yeah. They don't have that depth down the middle. I mean, you got Anze Kopitar and Philip Danault as your 1 and 2 centers.
Yeah.
You're not getting a lot of good chances, and the Hawks had no good scoring chances tonight.
Very few, they should have scored there. The only thing you would say was maybe a point shot that got through and through some traffic.
There was
Athanasiou hit the post once, and somebody else
was on a power play.
Yeah, somebody else rattled.
Their best chances came on the power play because the power play has been doing real well.
Oh, and Athanasiou had that one to start the game. It was a first or second shift. The Kings turned one over right in front of Talbot. Talbot?
Yes.
Yeah. I get him and who's the other? Used to be on the Sabres. Whatever. I get goalies mixed up. But he was in alone. No, don't worry about it. It's not important.
It's gonna bug me. My ADHD is.
I'll figure it out and get back to you. Anyway, that was maybe the best chance of the game was Athanasiou's in one-on-one with the goalie.
Connor Bedard was
not much of a factor.
About as invisible as he's been all season.
But that's the thing when you have a team that can defend top to bottom. That's why you need more than just him.
Right.
And all respect to Philip Kurashev and Athanasiou and Nick Foligno and Jason Dickinson. Those guys are not the kind of guys that are going to make a team worry.
The King said, all right, let Andreas Athanasiou beat us.
Exactly.
Let Colin Blackwell beat us. I dare you.
Yeah.
They weren't going to let that top line do what they've done their last few games.
Yeah.
And they didn't.
They're really well. You watch the way the Kings played against the Hawks in this game. The Hawks were very well scouted. The Kings were they knew, get pucks on Soderblom, get him to come out of his crease, take advantage of the backdoor play. Yep. They went through the checklist of the way to beat the Blackhawks. They had every trick that you need to take down the Hawks. Do you want me to find this goalie?
Sure, why not?
Right.
It really doesn't matter.
Sabres goalie history.
Should I tell the fine folks about Chevy while we
go
look
for
up
it.
a goalie?
Yes.
Have a nice early break, because the less we talk about this game, the better. All righty.
Carter Hutton.
Carter Hutton. That's Blackhawks legend. Carter
I know.
Hutton.
Yep, that's who it was.
Cam Talbot, Carter Hutton.
See, they both start with C, and they're both not very good.
That's Cam Talbot's an all-star, man.
Yeah, he had a good year.
Right.
He was good in this game too.
Anywho, our friends at Ray Chevrolet, they are making it very easy for you if you're in the market for a new car. They have the best offers of the year going on right now during the March Radness sales event.
Oh, I like that.
Make your way to Ray Chevrolet on Route 12 in Fox Lake and join in on all the savings. As one of the top-selling Chevy dealers in the Midwest, you'll always be able to shop one of Chicagoland's largest Chevy inventories. They have the perfect tailgate vehicle at Ray Chevrolet during Truck Month. For a limited time, they're offering 0% financing for 72 months on all new Silverados with over 100 available. And they also have 125 vehicles under $20,000. Seriously, guys and girls, can pricing get any more affordable than it is right now? And everybody loves the word freeze, and that's what you're going to get all month long at Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake. A free oil change just by being one of our lovely, beautiful, and talented CHGO listeners. All you need to do is mention CHGO when scheduling your oil change, and you are going to get it for free, but you have to schedule it by April 1st. So visit Ray Chevrolet in Fox Lake on Route 12 or raychevrolet.com. They've been serving the community since 1963. Find new roads.
And find new ways to chill with Coors Light, because the first thing I did when that final horn sounded was headed over to the official CHGO refrigerator, grab myself a nice cold Coors Light, because I was going to need one to get through the show, because that was about as bummer of a game as we've had in a long time.
Yeah.
It was not fun. So when you're looking to chill, you're looking to take the edge off, you're stressed out from work, the kids won't shut up, all that sort of stuff. I know what you're talking about there. Your daughter calls you chat for some reason.
Chat?
That's a new thing. Chat. Hey, chat, do this. Chat. What are you talking about? Shut up. Chat. It's like they're talking to a non-existent YouTube channel. Yes, this is what happens when you have a 13-year-old. So now you all know why.
This is why
I rely on Coors Light.
This is why I don't have a 13-year-old.
Exactly.
I have a pug that's turning 11 tomorrow, but she doesn't call me chat.
No, thank God. And that's why Coors Light helps me find moments to chill all the damn time, because it is the perfect cold refreshment to chill you out, especially during a game or whatever else you might have going on in your life that is bumming you out or stressing you out. Or, you know what? St. Patrick's Day weekend is here. Use your Coors Light to chill in a celebratory way. That's more fun. When the mountains turn blue, not green, it's as cold as the Rockies. Coors Light is cold lagered, cold filtered, and cold packaged for a smoother finish. When it's time to chill, crack open a nice cold Coors Light. It is mountain cold refreshment, crisp and refreshing as the Colorado Rockies, not the baseball team. When it's time to chill, Coors Light is the beer we reach for. Get Coors Light delivered straight to your door with Instacart by visiting CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Again, that's CoorsLight.com/CHGO Hockey. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Man, what a difference a game makes. When I called in from the United Center after that 7-2 victory over the Ducks, there were 450-some people watching. Now we have 127 people watching after a 5-0 loss. But we thank each and every one of you for tuning in. And hit that like button while you're watching. We have almost 130 people watching and less than 50 likes. Oof. That's not good math.
It's too early for a like spike, too.
Yeah,
we can't.
Do us a favor while you're enjoying our unbelievable detailed breakdown of this game. Just hit that thumbs up button. It's not that hard. It's free. It don't cost nothing. Absolutely.
It's the best way to help us, aside from subscribing, becoming a diehard. We'll get to all that stuff too. Just hitting that like button every time you're in the chat, as my daughter would call it.
Hey, chat.
Get in that habit.
Hey, all you chats in the chat, hit the thumbs up.
Yeah, exactly. The thing about this game, and there's been a lot of losses this year. We're used to them. There's been a lot of disappointing losses, but I think this one is extra annoying because of how the last few games had gone.
Yeah, it's disappointing. Not that I expected them to score 7 again.
No, of course not.
Not that I expected them to beat the Kings, who are a really good hockey team, who will be in the playoffs this year. But when you've won 2 in a row, 3 out of 4, you got some momentum going. You know, we had Nick Foligno in there yesterday, and he's loose as can be and in a good mood, and everybody's feeling good. Connor Bedard is on the heater of all heaters. And then just to completely just piddle down your leg and get clowned for the first 16 minutes of the game. That's all it took.
Yeah, that was it.
I mean, they got some life to him after that first power play. Jason Dickinson threw a big hit. He got hit in the corner, didn't like it, got his revenge. And then all of a sudden, like, they started hitting people. They started skating a little harder.
Yeah, they hit 2 posts in that same shift. Then Dickinson's mixing it up. Then Foligno's mixing it up.
Lizotte hit him hard from behind. Probably could have been a penalty.
Probably.
He didn't like it. And then the second he got a chance to hit him back, he dumped him right on his ass. And that kind of like got things going, but then they couldn't really capitalize on it. So it's disappointing just because of how well they've played in the last couple games. But again, those last couple games are against two of the worst teams in the league.
Right.
Now you're playing a team that is going to be in the playoffs, a team that is one of the best defensive teams in the league, a big team, good down the middle. They needed more. They couldn't do the Harlem Globetrotters on ice against this team because they're just going to shut that down. You have to pay the price. You have to score the greasy goals. You got to get guys in front of Talbot. There wasn't that much all night. Most of the shots were from the perimeter with nobody there to help out. It's just not going to get that. It's just not going to get it done against this team.
What shocked me, too, about the Kings were, like, you knew all this stuff about them coming in. Great road team, great down the middle, great defensively. They were faster than the Hawks at every turn. They were winning every race to the puck. Even when the Hawks would get, like, kind of a breakout going, they would get caught from behind. And a lot of that is just the Kings knowing how to play that way, knowing how to cut down angles, that sort of a thing. But, man, as soon as the Hawks tried to get anything going, L.A. was right on top of them. They had no room to operate. They had no room to get anything done. Offensively, I feel like this is among the worst games they've played all year. I mean, it's just they outshot the Kings 11-5 in the third.
That's because the Kings were just like...
Yeah, the Kings are just dumping it in.
They're getting on a plane tonight to play the Stars tomorrow. They're
exactly.
not going to do anything to try and get anybody hurt. They're up 5-0. They were just like dump and chase.
Yeah.
Dump and chase. We're done trying to play offense. We're just going to come back and shut you out.
Yeah. I know we've got some post-game video ready to go. What do we got? I know we have I saw we have Slagger. Who's the other one we have? Jason Dickinson?
Yeah, we have Jason Dickinson ready to go.
So. All right, why don't we fire up hear what Big J Dick had to say after this game, because he was one of the Hawks that did show up for this one and was really giving everything he had. And like you said during the game, would you say he's mostly held together by duct tape at this point?
By duct tape and bubble gum at this point.
Exactly. All right, here he is, Jason Dickinson.
Tuesday and tonight, how is it in your eyes?
It's a team that has a very interesting structure that's hard to defeat, and when they play to it, and they play to it really well, they're able to transition quick and sustain offense. They put a lot of pucks to the net and they recover them in the O-zone. So sometimes sprayed pucks causes a lot of confusion, and they get moving around, and seams open up, guys open up on backside, and we make it difficult on our goalies to make those saves because it's wide open net.
What's interesting about their structure?
They play a very detailed 1-3-1. The D-man seems to sag back to the corner early so he can get to any dump pucks, any rims. They're very... they know exactly what they're doing on every puck, so everybody's moving in sync. When they're not in sync, it's when it doesn't look very good. It looks very slow and it looks like they're not playing very well, but when they do it really well, they look connected, they look fast, they look like they're able to make plays all up the ice.
You have two games more against them, including one next week. Is there something you can learn from?
Absolutely. I mean, if we don't learn from it, then what was the point of losing 5-0? It's something that we can use as a lesson to say, okay, this is what beat us. If we do the same recipe, they're going to beat us again. So I think we have to look at the video and say, okay, these are the openings. This is what works. I think we hit. There's one window that we hit where Mac cut across the blue line, and it breaks their 1-3-1 because we get in the zone with possession and entry, and that D-man that's sagging back now has a tough gap to get up on him and defend the shot. Did a good job of defending the shot, but it's those plays that will create difficulty for them.
You feel for Soderblom after a night like this?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, I can't think of one of those goals that's his fault. Like, those are plays on the back post that we can't give up because our goalie's got to honor the shot. So we have to be responsible to take those pucks on the backside for them.
What did you think of Landon tonight in his debut?
I thought he looked good. I thought he was moving his feet really well. He was reading the ice well. I didn't see him out of position too much. I wasn't analyzing too hard, obviously, because first game, you're just excited. You want to get out there. You want to make an impression. And I think biggest thing is play with energy and passion and just have fun with it.
How deflating is it when a team hits you with 4 in the first period, yet knowing that you got 2 periods to play?
Yeah, I mean, it's not the first time it's happened to us, so it's something we're all too familiar with, and we need to be a lot better in the first period coming out, and even if we don't have our best, finding a way to get out of period 1-0, 0-0, 2-0, whatever it may be, so that we can give ourselves a chance in the second and third period. But once you give up 4 like that, it's a tough task against any team, and like I said about their structure, it's even harder. It's very hard to break through their structure.
There he is, Jason Dickinson, and pretty much saying the same thing about Soderblom, where he's challenging the shooter. It is the team's responsibility to cover that backdoor play, and yeah, maybe he came out a little too far, but if Korchinski and Bedard have defense on their mind first, then maybe that shot never gets through, and maybe they're off to the races the other way, and that's what we talked about yesterday with Nick Foligno, specifically with Bedard kind of learning the defensive game and adapting it. How many times did Nick say yesterday, making a defensive play leads to offense. Making the other team turn the puck over gets your team going the other way.
Right. Yeah.
And if you look at that play, Byfield's going to the net, right? He's looking to shoot. He looks off Soderblom. Soderblom's out of the crease. He passes over to Kopitar. But if Korchinski or Bedard gets a stick on that puck, the Hawks are moving that way, and they've got the Kings moving towards the net.
Right.
That's an odd man break the other way. Instead, both of them let the pass get through, and it's a goal, and it's 3-0. And at that point, when you're the Blackhawks, the game's over.
Yeah, game was probably already over at that point.
Yeah, fair enough.
Definitely was over then. Yeah, you're right. And they get, you got 2 rookies, 2 teenagers, 2 guys that are offense first minded. Usually, you're going to make mistakes like that. Those are what many coaches call teaching moments.
Yeah.
So they'll get shown that in video tomorrow, and hopefully the next time that situation repeats itself, they know to make the right play. Mistakes happen. Veterans make those mistakes.
Sure.
Veterans on the Blackhawks has made that mistake numerous times this season.
Yes,
so, it's one of those moments where you show it in video, you make them aware, and hopefully you never have to show them a play like that again.
You would hope not. And hopefully, I don't want to – I feel like it's a little meatball-y to think this, but I hope the Hawks didn't come out feeling like, oh, everything's fixed. We just kicked the crap out of 2 teams, and we're just going to show up, and things are going to be the same.
I doubt it. Knowing this coaching staff,
I just
knowing
hated the start.
knowing a room that has Nick Foligno and Jason Dickinson in it, no. I mean, if some players thought that, there's no way they said that out loud.
Oh, hell no. No chance.
Both Luke Richardson said it after the win against the Ducks, and Nick Foligno said it here yesterday. Yeah, we did it for 2 games. Cool. We play 82. Yeah. Let's do it for more than just 2 games.
Yeah.
So I don't think anybody was thinking. If they were, shame on them.
Yeah, it just, I don't know. The start bugged me. They just came out a little bit flat.
I think it was, I don't necessarily that they were flat. I just think that they may have been a little bit of, hey, we're playing great. We can maybe cheat a little bit. And the Kings were just we're just gonna smack you around.
Yeah.
And they got punched in the mouth and were stunned for a couple minutes, and before you knew it, it was now 3-0, and there was nothing you could do at that point. Yeah. I don't necessarily think they underestimated the Kings or
overestimated themselves.
Played that they weren't. It wasn't like they came out completely. I just think they just couldn't handle the Kings.
I mean, look, I'm probably coming at it from the point of I've really enjoyed myself watching the Hawks over the last handful of games.
Well,
especially the last 2.
Sharks are in town on Sunday.
Yeah, I know.
It should be a lot more fun.
But it was, I felt, I don't know, and I'm sure a lot of people felt this way, excited to watch a Hawks game again.
Right.
Because things had been so fun and so exciting.
This is just a reminder that they are a long, long way. As fun as those last 2 games were, they were against 2 crap-ass teams that have thrown in the towel on the season. And then they play a team tonight that has Stanley Cup aspirations.
Yeah.
Like they're a team that's like not just wanting to show up to play, 2 playoff home games and go home. They want a deep run. And it was just a reminder that those last 2 games were fun. And those last 2 games are kind of a small glimpse into what things might be here in a couple years, but it's still a couple of years away. There's still a long way to go. You could beat up the Ducks and the Coyotes, but they're still so far away from the actual contenders.
Yeah, true. Did I see Luke is ready to go here?
Yes, we have Luke Richardson.
How long is Luke?
Let me check. A couple of minutes.
Guessing he's not that long.
He is 6 minutes.
Yeah, why don't we fire that up while we're waiting for Mario,
I'm
then we'll take a
interested to
break
hear
and bring
what,
Mario in.
You got it. Here's Luke Richardson.
All right.
The LA Kings. That's one thing. I think there was a little bit of both tonight. I think we didn't probably have our best game, but they really played well, and they're a big, heavy team. We had a hard time, winning puck battles, and I think that was a big difference tonight.
Dickinson was talking about how their 1-3-1 is kind of tough to break down.
Yeah, I know we played that on other teams this year. I don't think that was so much the problem. We just didn't have the puck enough really and when we did, we were tired. So one guy's changing or everybody's changing. I thought we just, I know in the third period the game was out of reach, but even in the first period, I thought, after the first couple shifts, we had a hard time getting pucks back. So we spent way too much time chasing the puck, and then when we got it, we were basically on an empty tank, or one guy was by himself because someone else was changing. So they did a good job in that area tonight, and that's when they're playing their best. That's what they're really good at.
How did you see the first 4 goals? Was it somewhat Irvin's fault, all of it?
No, I don't think so. I think he could. I think the penalty kill we talked about trapping the top off on that side because both power plays have a right-handed one-timer, and that got through. And it went off the end wall, and Arb was just trying to recover, and they got a fortunate bounce right on the tape, and it was a good shot. I think there was a tip that we're beside the guy, but they're just good. They were strong. They could absorb. I think Tenorti was doing his best that he could to box him out, but the guy still got his stick free, and that just shows the signs of their size and strength. They can withstand that. And I think at the 4th goal we just decided to make a change. We needed to spark something with the team more than taking Arbor out of there.
It feels like there are times where he comes too far out of the net. I know you're not a goalie coach, but does that feel like that to you? Like he leaves the back door open too often? Yeah,
well, I think on the one backdoor play that's wide open. I think we really mishandled. I think that was might have been the 4th one, a 3rd one, I guess. Maybe it was the one where Khrushchev was back checking. A little miscommunication with the D. We got everybody stuck on that side, and that's a hard one because guys coming right down the middle, you got to honor that. And they put it over to Kopitar, and he pretty much had 4x6 to shoot at. So I don't really fault him on the goals tonight. I think I think it was just the circumstances of the game.
But it's got to be a little bit of a confidence killer. He's had a few of those type of games.
Yeah, but I think he's got to feel good about even the 3 or 4 games before he got a couple wins. It was building back up, and one game he can't let it come down. And I think he's shown in the past where he's pretty solid mentally that he should be okay with that. And we'll make sure that he knows that the circumstances tonight. That's just happens. You gotta. It's too early in the game to burn a timeout because it wasn't that far out of reach. If it's 3-0 or 4-0, you never know what can happen. There's a lot of game left to use your one timeout, and you have nothing at the end of the game. So the other way to do it is to send a message by changing the goaltender. The guys had the right things on the bench, said the right things on the bench. We just couldn't get it accomplished on the ice.
On that 3rd goal, is that Khrushchev has to be aware of the trailer? Or?
Yeah, I think so. And there should be communication. And sometimes that's the D, because the D are skating backwards. They see everything. So they can see a guy coming off the bench right down the middle and, call Khrushchev off. And Khrushchev can kind of stop, turn around, and pick that up. But part of it is the forward being a little bit aware on his own. Just to let that guy, I forget what player it was in the corner to skate in. I don't know if it was Byfield or whoever it was. Leave him to our D, which was Magna there, and then turn around and take the top guy, and Korchinski can take the other guy driving the net. We got 2 D, which were on that side, which is fine. But Khrushchev tracked early at the blue line, which was fine, but once it got in deep, we have to sort it out. And we've been doing better job at that lately, but that was a a unique type of entry that you don't really see that normal eye up like that. But you have to be ready to sort that out.
What did you see from Slagger tonight?
Good, same as in practice. It's just a sample size, I'm sure, for him. But definitely energy and gets in on forechecks and not afraid to bump people. And he only got out there once in the penalty kill, but seemed fine and comfortable with it. So obviously more to come, and looking forward to seeing it.
We heard Reichel's getting called back up. What's your perspective on that?
Yeah, I guess he's been playing really well as of late, and they, points were coming early, but not the goals. And I think he scored the other night, which was great. So I think his game is, playing at a high level again. So this is a good time to get him back here, while his confidence is back at a higher level compared to when he left, when I think he was, a little bit down on himself and unconfident. So this is the time to get him back up here, and hopefully we can, as we're a little healthier unit now as well, we can get him with some players that can kind of complement him and help him out here.
Did you notice anything of note when you changed the lines in the second period? Anything you liked?
I think we created some stuff. I think it was just hard for us to get the inside tonight for whatever reason. I think part of it was us. We needed a little bit of a harder will. But compliments to them. They played a really good game, and they played hard. And once they got the lead, they seemed to really lock it down. They didn't change. They really executed puck possession, and it was hard to get it back from a big team. So I did like the look of some of the lines moved around, and some of them were back to where guys have played with people before. Like Kershaw's played with Johnson and Radish last year quite a bit, and it's easy to put Nick back with Dickinson and Blackwell, and that was easy. And I liked Joy's a smart player, and he doesn't mind doing hard work on the forecheck, and that kind of worked well with AA. I think his 2 games he showed some speed and willingness to shoot pucks, so I thought they almost created a few things. So that was it was good to see.
Thanks, Luke.
There he is, Luke Richardson, after the Hawks 5-0 loss to the LA Kings. We'd been talking about that third goal, and it was addressed specifically there. Interesting point from Luke there, saying that it's the defense's job to communicate to the forwards who are coming back to pick up that backdoor play, because the defensemen are facing forward. That was interesting. It's something I hadn't considered, because he talked about Kurashev as a trailer, and saying it was a Kurashev's. The question was, it was a Kurashev's job to cover that back door. He said, "Yeah, but the defensemen have a duty to inform the forward." Thank you. Of hey, cover the back door as they're backing up towards the net. It's interesting. I love when they get Luke talking X's and O's and really breaking things down. It always makes me feel good about him as a coach. Because every time he explains something, it makes perfect sense.
Yeah. I would love to have a monthly chat with Luke Richardson where we just show him plays on the board and he explains it to us.
Yes. Please tell us what happened here.
Make us smarter at watching hockey with Luke Richardson.
That's it. All right, we're going to take a break. Mario is standing by. We're going to bring him in momentarily. But first, we're going to tell you about our friends at CD1 Price Cleaners. It can be frustrating going to the cleaners. You bring in 5 or 6 shirts, and you don't know what it's going to cost. One week it costs you $8. One week it costs you $3, and you don't really know what the difference was. But, what else are you going to do? Well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go to CD1 Price Cleaners because you're going to save over 30% on your dry cleaning bill by switching to CD1 Price Cleaners. Other cleaners charge a different price for every garment type. Plus, they have upcharges, and you may pay a different price every time you visit. At CD1 Price Cleaners, they charge one low price. See that? For any garment. Yep, even sports jerseys, the same low price. CD1 Price Cleaners has your order ready the same or the next day. Other cleaners take 2 to 4 days to have your clean garments ready. And honestly, 3 days, I've forgotten that the shirt exists. Right? It's
yeah, I mean, that's why every dry cleaner has just a million shirts on those movable racks.
Yeah,
exactly. It's not because they're that busy. It's because people forget.
People forget to pick them up. Well, if you do forget for whatever reason, CD1 Price Cleaners will send you a text and remind you, "Hey, dude, come get your shirt, idiot." They won't say that, but they'll think it.
They might.
They've got dry cleaning. They'll wash and fold your laundry. They'll wash blankets and covers. They've got tailoring and alterations, leather cleaning, area rug cleaning. Get my leather chaps clean there. Nice, that's good to know. Visit CHGO
for St. Patty's Day.
CDONE.com or follow the link in our description. Once there, you can pick from an in-store coupon or online pickup and delivery coupon options. Again, CHGO.CDONE.com. Get your clothes clean. You stink.
Yes, and when you get bacon grease all over your shirts from Charlie the Bacon Guy, you can take them to CD1 Price Cleaners. And the best place to get bacon grease on your shirt is from our guy, Charlie the Bacon Guy, the man, the myth, the bacon legend, based out of Woodridge, Illinois. And he makes craft bacon and bacon jams in over 35 different flavors. Naturally cured, preservative-free products. There aren't any ingredients that Charlie can't pronounce himself involved in the process, unlike all those inferior, not as good store-bought bacons. Vacuum sealed, it freezes perfectly, even though I don't know who's freezing bacon. It doesn't last that long to be frozen, especially when it's this good. Bacon lasts in the package up to 60 days in the fridge, 1 week after the seal is broken, and 9 months in the freezer. Bacon jam lasts about 90 days in the fridge and up to 1 year in the freezer. But if you're keeping bacon in the freezer that long, you have issues.
Yeah, it's not dry cleaning.
Yeah.
Get to it right away.
Exactly.
That's a nice way of putting it.
Exactly. What are you waiting for? The bacon jam goes perfectly on everything. What's bacon jam, you ask? It's like spreadable bacon.
That's it.
That's what it is. It's like spreadable bacon, and it's amazing. It goes on anything. You can put it on your scrambled eggs.
Yep.
I've put it on burgers, in the middle of a grilled cheese sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
Right on crackers, cinnamon rolls. Get that sweet and savory together.
I put on a baked potato the other day, and it changed my life.
Or you could do what Charlie does. Just put it on the spoon and put it directly into your mouth. That is, can't go wrong. Charlie's website has the Bacon Vault, all the flavors he's made in the past. And if it's not currently available, just give him about a 2 weeks notice and he will make it for you. He's got awesome merch, beanies, hats, t-shirts, stickers, and coffee mugs because you got to have coffee with your bacon in the morning. Flavors include maple pepper, chorizo, the French toast, which is amazing, honey chipotle, Cajun, giardiniera is one of my favorite, raspberry chipotle, and Maui Wowie. Bacon jam comes with the original, the bourbon, the mango habanero. My favorite is the cherry jalapeno sweet heat. It is delicious. And starting now, you can save 10% on your order at charliethebaconguy.com when you use the code CHGO at checkout. You can pick it up, which is the most efficient way for you, or he can deliver it to you, meet you halfway, or even ship it. He makes the bacon so you can bring it home. That's charliethebaconguy.com. Spend all your disposable income with our friend Charlie.
This is a good investment.
Yeah.
In your happiness.
Exactly.
Treat yourself.
Lots of serotonin involved in those packages of bacon.
It is delicious. All right, let's go out to the United Center and bring in our buddy Mario Tirabassi.
Where they need more serotonin at the United Center.
He was there covering what couldn't be described as anything but an awesome game. Mario, you were there. You were in the locker room. What happened? Who said what?
Yeah, I mean, it was not as fun as the last few games in the locker room and post game talking with Jason Dickinson and Luke Richardson. But I mean, it's the LA Kings. It's a much different team than playing the Anaheim Ducks or the Arizona Coyotes. Like it's a team that's fighting for playoff positioning, a team that is built for success, and that structure and that being a big heavy team, that's something that the Blackhawks, this version of the Blackhawks, just cannot match. And when the Blackhawks have an off night against a team like the LA Kings, like this is what's going to happen. And it was just their game. They weren't able to solve the 1-3-1 structure that the Kings play. Jason Dickinson talked about how the Kings structure was they weren't able to solve it tonight. And when you're not able to solve it against a team like that that can attack you with speed and shut you down with size, there's really not much you could do. There was, I don't know how many times, there was offensive possessions for the Kings that just looked like they had 2 or 3 line changes in just one possession. So I mean, it's a team that is vastly superior in talent, and the Blackhawks just weren't able to try and out-effort them tonight to get anything going.
Yeah, that shows the Kings are a good example, and while they may not be, the pedigree of the Avalanche or, some of the higher flying teams in the league, some of the bigger cup favorites, it shows you what a gritty, systemic, loaded down the middle, defense first style team can do. We were talking about this a little bit yesterday with Nick Foligno about how, teams have sort of figured out how to defend the Devils. They've got all the skill, they've got all the speed, but when you play them tough and you play them defensively, they're kind of easy to stop. I think we saw a little bit of that from the Hawks tonight because for the first time in a long time, Connor Bedard wasn't really able to get anything going, and the guys around him didn't really have the talent or ability to create on their own.
Yeah, I mean, it was lockdown defense from the Kings tonight, and I mean, it's what you're supposed to do, right? As an LA Kings team against this Blackhawks team. And yeah, I mean, you saw midway through the second period, Luke Richardson jumbled up the lines. The top three lines were all changed up, trying to get different looks, trying to get different matchups, trying to get different guys going. And Richardson said that he liked the idea of what those lines were trying to accomplish in those change-ups. It's just the execution wasn't there to the level where it really made any impact. So we'll see between now and Sunday if any of those changes stick or if it was just an in the moment kind of thing. But it's at that point, you're down 4-0 at that point. You've pulled your goalie. You're just trying to get something going. So I'm not surprised by the line shifting, just to give him something new, because what was working for the first half of the game clearly wasn't it. So you got to try something new. So at least he went for it that way. Not much changed, and I would say even that third period where it looked a little bit more even. I think the Kings are just trying to get out of town without hurting themselves.
We do have official news here from the Hawks. Lucas Reichel is back. They have assigned forward Zach Sanford to Rockford. So there's your corresponding move. Lucas Reichel back in the lineup. We heard Luke talk about, a good time for him to return, having some confidence and some success down in Rockford. And I think his point with Athanasiou here, it gives them a little more talent to play him with. So I'm excited to see him back. I really hope, if there's anything that I would like to happen at the end of this season, it would be for Lucas Reichel to look like he did at the end of last season.
Put him with Athanasiou and hope what we saw over the last 8 games last year happens again this year, and we'll see what happens. I would imagine they'll be on the line. We'll see. They're practicing tomorrow.
Yep.
So we'll get a look at what they are and where they go. Put Jason Dickinson in between the two of them. Can't go bad there.
It usually helps.
Jason Dickinson usually is like the fixer on this team.
Yeah, definitely.
Or maybe you put Tyler Johnson in between the two of those guys. That's not the worst out there, but we'll see. They're practicing at 11:30 tomorrow, so we'll get a look right away at what the game plan is for Sunday.
Are you surprised, Mario, that Reichel is back now? Like, does it seem like it's soon, late? How? Because I think the other night we were sort of talking about, like, maybe they're just going to keep him down. They've not they've not been bad, but they've not been great either.
Yeah, no, I think he 7 points in 9 games with the Ice Hogs. He got his first goal being down there, I think, in the last game, power play goal for him. I mean, he's been looking pretty good. He's been out there creating a lot, which is what you hope to see with a guy like him being back at the AHL level. I mean, prior 2 seasons, he was a point per game player at the AHL level. So you'd imagine that he'd be able to find that form again. And set 1 goal, 6 assists in 9 games. Like that's pretty good. Luke talked about the fact that he seems like he's got some confidence back in his game. He was doing the things that they asked of him when he was there in Rockford. So hopefully that can translate to some confidence when he steps back on the ice of the Blackhawks. they could have kept him down there longer. They could have kept him down there the rest of the regular season for the Ice Hogs and then into the postseason. And I don't think anyone would have really batted an eye. But good to see that he's going to get an opportunity to come back up and play here again and see what's changed. If it's changed for the better, then that's just like you said. Like that's a good way to put an end to this season is to end it on a high note. If it's more of the same, then I don't know. Like at this point, it doesn't make or break the season. He's eligible to go back to Rockford for the playoffs since he was down there during the trade deadline, and you send him back at some point and let him help out for the postseason run, and just you go into the summer with a big question mark. So I don't know. It's at this point, you don't really have a losing scenario. Given where we're already at in the season, like it's already kind of trying to make the best of an unfortunate year of development for Reichel, and hopefully he comes back. Hopefully he's right back in the lineup on Sunday and scores a goal or something. Like just get back and re-announce yourself to the team.
I disagree with you a little bit because I do think there is a losing scenario for Reichel. If Reichel comes up and is the same guy he was before he gets sent down, he's got a whole summer of that hanging over his head. And kind of similar to what we talked about with Foligno yesterday, and if you missed that, go check it out wherever you get your podcast or on our YouTube page. Like, you get used to losing, right? And you want to stack and Greg wrote about it today, you want to pick up wins towards the end of the year so you go into the offseason feeling better instead of just getting your wiener kicked in from game 1 to game 82 and then you just go in and got to lick your wounds all summer. At least you've got something positive to end on. And I feel the same way about Reichel because as the lack of scoring kept piling up and piling up and piling up, we could see his confidence get less and less and less. So I worry about the mental effect of a kid who came into this season expected to be a contributing top 6 prospect who has turned the corner, who is going to be relied upon to be the second or third leading scorer on his team, and ended up back in Rockford and then comes back up and can't do anything. That to me is a disaster. I'm really afraid of that. I really hope, and I have not given up on Lucas Reichel in any way, shape, or form. For the record, I wrote about it for Blackhawks Beat today. I think he's going to be fine, but I do worry if he comes back and lays an egg, what that could do to his game and to his confidence.
Yeah, I mean, if he comes back and he's the same guy, I think it. I don't know. I don't think it tanks any worse than it was. I think if he goes into the offseason with that kind of end to the NHL season, like that he's going to go back to Rockford. Like he'll go back to Rockford and he'll have an opportunity to do what he just did in the last 9 games is put up points, play significant minutes and be a factor. And if that's the case, then at least he goes into the offseason with a reset. Like he's not, they're not going to, it would be absolutely foolish if Reichel comes back, it's more of the same, goes back to Rockford, whatever, to end the season. It'd be foolish of the Blackhawks to be like, all right, best offer for him, because you're going to get very little. He'd be at the very lowest point that you could try and move on from him from. Lower than what Kirby Dach was at when they moved on from him. So I think that would be absolutely foolish. So you would go into the offseason, you would give him his second contract, and it would be a very big prove you are not this guy opportunity for him. And I would imagine he knows that he came into this season with a big opportunity with the Blackhawks, not only to continue to grow his game, continue to develop into a contributing NHL player and be part of the future, but he also probably knows he's left some dollars on the table this season with the way that he's been playing. So I don't know. I would hope that those are motivating factors for him to go into the offseason. Again, this is if he comes back and it's more of the same, to go into the offseason and have that drive to prove that he's not that player.
Got a good question here from Alan K, and he says, are we glad it's a contract year for Reichel now, or if we can go back, would we not have burned that first year? I think this is exactly what, not that Davidson was hoping for this, but when you start that contract early, you're betting that second contract won't cost you as much because he's not going to have as much success under his belt when it comes time for that second contract.
He's won that bet.
He certainly won that bet with Lucas Reichel. Right. That's for damn sure.
And you also, there's two flip sides to that. What's happened now you're going to save a ton of money on contract number 2. Or he gets that good year, and then you give him that reasonable deal that could turn into a bargain in 3 or 4 years, as opposed to if he had 3 full years in that third year, he has year 2, year 3 has 2 huge years, and now all of a sudden it's very expensive.
Yeah, true. I don't know. I don't know. I think this is kind of what they were not for when I say hoping would happen. I think they hoped for better than this year. But I don't know. And that's the question, too, is like, do you this summer, he's a restricted free agent, do you try to go 4 years and bet on him?
No.
Or do you say, here's something short term, here's something cheap, and show us what you can do?
Yeah, I give him the Philip Kurashev type deal.
Agree. That's what I do, too.
That the 2-year deal at, like, whatever, 2 years, $3.5 million total. I don't know. Yeah, you give him exactly what he's earned.
Right. Agree.
He hasn't earned that. He hasn't earned that.
I don't do it because if you do a 2-year deal, he's still a restricted free agent at the end of that.
Right.
So you're not losing anything. If he turns
if I'm Kyle Davidson, like I give him a 1 year. Not even $1 million. Like he's got to prove that he's not this guy. Like I understand we're not trying to have a short leash with him, but also like this season has been an extreme underachievement for what was expected of him, and the opportunities that he kind of was given. Like there were many times that he could have been sat, many times he could have been sent down to Rockford, and they kept him in. They did scratch him a few times. They put him up with Bedard, moved him all over the place. Like he had ample opportunity in different situations to prove that he could be the guy that they want him to be. And I'm not pulling the plug on him, but I'm not giving him 3 or 4 years or millions of dollars. Like I know the salary cap doesn't matter, but like. He's got to prove it first.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it could be less than $1 million. I mean, because you're looking at like Kurashev before he signed this summer, he had 3 years, 54 games, 67 games, 70 games, 8, 6, and 9 in goals, 8, 15, and 16 in assists. So producing, but not like at a very high level. And then this year he's got 40 points in 60 games, and it was $2.25 million to get to this year. So it's not going to be under $1 million. It might not be 2.25 like Kurashev got, which was kind of all right, we're going to bet on you kind of a thing. But under $1 million, he's a first-round pick. He has shown a little bit of success. Look, we're not at a point where money really matters. But I think if anyone's expecting less than $1 million, I don't think that's realistic. But somewhere, between $1 million and that $2 million range, I think makes some sense.
Yeah, I mean, I don't go as high as Kurashev. 2.2 is what he's getting this year, next year. I don't do that, but I'd give him a 2-year deal, just so he has that like, hey, we still have faith in you.
Yeah,
like we think this year was an anomaly, not the norm. Give him that 2-year deal, but give him the deal worth.
He makes $925 now.
You give him a 2-year deal worth $3 million total. 1.5 a year, just so you give him a little, like, hey, we still believe in you,
right?
And if you don't,
and you hope it's a bargain at the end of the year.
If you don't believe in him, then you just trade him already.
Yeah,
I mean, not now because his value has never been lower.
Unless you find a team that's like, and I'm not saying Alex Turcotte, but Alex Turcotte's a name that people are going to say, so I'm going to say it for him.
I had to say it.
Another highly drafted guy who has not found his footing with another organization that could be prime for a change of scenery. I don't want Turcotte because he is fragile.
Well,
the guy's always hurt.
Yeah,
but I'm talking about someone.
And
in
Reichel
that
has
similar...
had success in the NHL for short periods of time. Turcotte really never
He
has.
is not. Yes.
So, yeah, I don't know. Let's hope that like these last few games, we're all comfortable with like a 2-year deal. That he shows it again and go, okay, there he is.
Right.
That's the guy. But no matter what kind of contract they sign him to, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year deal, he'll still be an RFA at the end of it. So you're not, even if it is a 2-year deal, you're not at risking losing him. It's the same thing with Kurashev. Kurashev's deal, people might be worried like, oh my God, he's only got 1 more year, but he's an RFA after next season, so he's not going anywhere. So I really don't think you can screw up the Lucas Reichel situation too badly if you're Kyle Davidson.
We'll see. We'll see. And Emery says, what has Reichel shown that gives you any hope? He does not go to the hard areas. He plays Sherman soft on a perimeter. That doesn't play here. What I saw from him was the end of last season, where he had, 12 points in his last 19 games and was dynamic and had very little talent on this roster with him. And we've seen him produce at the NHL level. It was a short span, of course. It was 19 games, but it was there and it was real.
There's a guy that played tonight for the Los Angeles Kings.
Yeah.
That last year and the year before, everybody said he was a bust. And they're not the same player. But I'm talking about I'm talking about Quentin Byfield. Same draft class. Like, these guys take some time.
Byfield was second overall, by the way, in 2020.
So obviously, if you're not producing right away as a second overall pick, you're going to get the bust thrown on you earlier.
Right.
But look at Slapkowski in Montreal.
Great example.
Another guy that was number 1 overall, a lot of pressure, wasn't great his first year, wasn't great the first half of this year, but finds it.
Yeah.
So, I'm not saying that Reichel is going to turn into Quentin Byfield. They're not the same player.
No, Byfield's big, power
He's a power
type.
forward,
Yeah.
but I'm just saying, like, sometimes it takes 85, 100 games before the light bulb goes on.
Usually it takes
yes. If it takes 100 games,
and that's
get it, you're going at a excelled pace.
We're so spoiled here because Kane and Tays were great right away. Connor Bedard is great right away.
Right.
We didn't normal.
Alex DeBrincat never spent a day in Rockford.
Right.
Brendan Saad barely played in Rockford. Yeah. Like, we had a lot of guys that got here and were really good right away. Those are freaks of nature.
Right.
Usually it's 2, 3 years, 4 years before you're like, it's Philip Kurashev.
Look at Teuvo Teravainen.
Philip Kurashev is more the norm.
Yeah.
For prospects than Connor Bedard.
Yeah. So Byfield, by the way, for the record, only played 6 games in 2020.
He got hurt.
21. In 21-22, he played 40 games and had 10 points. 2022-23, he had 22 points in 53 games. This year, 49 points in 64 games. This is a year where he's come on.
2 assists tonight.
Yeah, and part of it is the Kings got a little bit better, but he has developed.
Takes
and
time.
That's typically how it goes. So, all right, Mario, before we let you go, anything you want to add, anything we missed from the locker room that needs addressing?
Landon Slagger spoke after the game. His NHL debut tonight, played just over 10 minutes, I believe, in a fourth-line role. Got some PK time, so he was smiling ear to ear all day. I think he had a pretty good experience. Besides the 5-0 result of the game, I think his introduction to the NHL went well for him personally. I think he played a fine game. Wasn't a detriment to the team. Went out there, played with some speed and some physicalness a little bit. So that was good. Good for him. First taste of the NHL. Coming back here to the press box to get set up here, he had what seemed like everybody that was here to see him stuck around, and was talking with him here in the stands after the game, and hugs and pictures and all that. So it was a really, really cool moment for him to get that debut. And we'll see what the rest of the season has in store for him, and just go from there. It's a fun new storyline for the last month of the season.
Speaking of Landon Slagger, I'm glad you brought him up. because he was somebody's pick in Who's Your Hawk today. Oh, right, it was me.
Mm-hmm.
And believe it or not, between him, Connor Bedard, and Andreas Athanasiou, he had the biggest blue line.
Yeah. Good
Way
for
to
him.
not suck.
Because he
Fourth,
was
fourth on the team.
the least sucky of all those guys.
Hey, most games, that's who wins
It
Who's Your
is.
Hawk.
You're not
Yeah.
wrong.
So is that my
It'll go.
21st win of the year?
22nd.
22nd. All right.
22nd win of the year. He was also the Chat's fourth star tonight.
He was a Chat's
Big
4-star.
night for him.
Chat. The Chat's 4-star.
Hey,
You got a
Chad,
fancy
no,
graphic of him or
I
anything
do,
you want to
right?
throw up there?
Ready?
Yeah, it's you did the work. You might as well see
There
it.
he is. Look at
There he
that.
is.
As fancy as it can get. Right
You should
there.
put like a little
That's
fart
perfect.
graphic on that one, like a little.
He's looking at Notre Dame University in his rear view mirror, like, out of here, chumps. I'm playing in the NHL, and I was the fourth least shitty Blackhawk tonight. Take
That's
that. Take that, Ryder Rolston.
If he was a Predator, they'd hang a banner for being the fourth least shitty Blackhawk. All right, there he is, Landon Slagger, your 4-star of the game, and your Who's Your Hawk winner. That's a clean sweep. Thanks, Mario. Have a safe ride home, man. We will talk to you Sunday.
All right, see you guys.
All right, there he is, Mario Tirabassi from the United Center. I'm taking this off. Okay.
Is that comfortable to wear?
Nope.
Absolutely not. You want to put it on?
Where'd you get it?
Charlie the
Charlie
Bacon
Bacon
guy.
That's his old
Really?
helmet. That's his
It's
helmet.
full of glory.
That's his old
bacon sweat.
That's incredible.
That's his like Mighty Might helmet from like he was like 9 years old.
Hey, he's got a hockey DB page, Charlie Zieserl.
He does.
He's a college stud.
Wow.
He's no Landon Slagger, but he's pretty
He
good.
is not. We should talk about him a little bit before we wrap things up.
Charlie or Slagger?
Slagger. We
Okay.
talk enough about Charlie
Yeah,
on the
already-
show.
He paid.
Yeah, he
We
paid.
talked, yeah.
But I liked his game. I mean, look, he didn't do a ton, but this is a really hard game to judge anybody. But there were a couple times where made hits, forced some turnovers, was certainly buzzing around the zone. I think you could really see him. I noticed a couple times where in his mind he was saying, don't make a mistake.
Yeah.
Don't do the wrong thing. And you would see him maybe instinctually trying to attack, and then he would sort of stop himself and pull back a little bit. So I think as he learns the system, as he gets more comfortable, you'll see him try to take a few more risks. But what we expected to see, we saw. Finishing checks, going to the net, playing with speed, being a pain in the ass to play against. Landon Slagger checked all those boxes today. So it was good to see that debut from him. And I do think, like, we've gotten to talk to him a few times over the years, and the fact that you see that huge outpouring of support for a kid making his first his NHL debut. He's got 40 people come to show him support. He is a really good kid, and I hope he sticks here just based on the fact that he is such an awesome guy. He is so adored by the people that know him and the people that have played with him, and frankly, the people that have played against him. I'd really like to see him have a nice long career here in Chicago because it's always nice to have good dudes that can play, and he seems to check those boxes. So
Yeah,
congrats to him.
He comes from a good pedigree of not just hockey, but just, human beings. Older brothers played, younger brothers play. His dad's been at Notre Dame forever. You usually don't stick around in a place like that for 20, 30 years being a pudwack. Eventually they get sick of you unless you're winning. But so, he is a good kid. We got to talk to him at development camp a couple years ago. We talked to him at Notre Dame this past winter. Always smiling, always pleasant. We'll see how long that lasts, playing in the NHL and having us ask you dumb questions every day. Can get anybody to stop. Even Connor Bedard stopped smiling with us. So, but no, decent start. I noticed him out there, which is more than I can say for someone. Like, noticed him not screwing up. Like you see, all of a sudden a red jersey comes flying out of nowhere. Like, oh, it's 84.
84.
I'm gonna find out before Sunday. Both teams had an 84 dress tonight. That has to be the first time that's ever happened in league
I can't
history.
imagine.
I'm trying to find all 84s ever.
Unless there was like one. Yeah, I don't know. It's got to be. Wait, something else to say. Oh, we got to go to Connor's Corner. But before we do, we're going to do a like spike because we are 3 likes away from 100. 3, 2, 1, like spike. Spike that like button.
Hit the like
for us.
button. Do it.
Elbow
do
smash it. Perfect plex it. Vader bomb it. What was the Steiner's move? Didn't it was a Steiner plex or something?
Steiner recliner.
Steiner recliner. Thank you.
Or he had the Frankensteiner.
Frankensteiner.
That
That's
was
the
off the top
one.
rope.
Yeah.
105.
Yeah,
You
nice.
see,
There's
I'm
the-
telling you, the light spikes
Super
work.
easy.
It's awesome. Thank you
Wow.
for doing that. We appreciate that. All right, let's go to Connor's Corner. Then we're going to wrap this show up. All right, no goals for Connor Bedard in this one. He had 3 shots on goal, 22:47 of ice time, 4 shot attempts. He also had a hit. He had a couple hits in this game, only credited with 1. But
Getting it twice. Nice.
you know, yeah, I like 2 of those. Sure. You know,
Jerry Garcia version. You're gonna
coming
do that.
down from 2 awesome performances, I think a little more expectation, but the Kings are a team that's going to shut down a one-trick pony team like the Blackhawks.
These are games that Connor Bedard needs to have.
Yeah.
To be like, okay, I have to figure out another way to be, my bag of tricks. I can't do my magic against these guys. I have to just simplify it.
Yeah.
Just put your head down and beat a guy to the area of the ice. I'm not going to head fake them. I'm not going to be able to weave my way around. It's just skate hard, beat a guy to a spot, get a couple bruises if you have to. But these are important games for him too, and for a lot of the young guys. You have to learn that each night is a different type of game, and you have to figure out. The earlier you figure out what type of game you're involved in, the better you're going to be in. But by the way, the 84 versus 84, it's probably happened. There's been 19 players in the NHL, and a lot. It's pretty recent. Like nobody wore it before 2007.
Wow.
So Tanner Jeannot has worn it his entire career.
Okay.
And you have Gavrikov who had it now. So chances are they've played against
the Kings
each
and
other.
Birds have played.
You know who wore 84 for one game for the Detroit Red Wings? Jake Chelios. Jan Ruda is wearing it for the San Jose Sharks. So we're going to have back-to-back 84
Wow,
versus
84 and 84 action.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Jared Tenorti wore it for the Boston Bruins.
Bijan said, has anyone ever wore number 1 on the Hawks?
Yes.
Glenn Hall.
It's in the rafters.
It's hanging. Suspend yourself.
Yes.
By
Only
the way,
the greatest goalie in team history.
Yes. A lot of people, by the way, must have hit the mute button when we said that Slafkovsky and Byfield are different players than Reichel.
Yes. ...
But they develop slowly.
I prefaced.
Yes,
my
we prefaced
whole
it
statement
and repeated it. We know they're not the same kind of player.
Right.
The point was that prospects take time.
I'm not comparing their styles of play to each other. I'm comparing their arc of actually becoming effective NHL players.
Yes. Thank you. I hope it's clear now.
Yes.
All right.
I got this job by thinking that Quentin Byfield and Lucas Reichel are the same.
Exactly.
Even though somebody in this town once compared Brendan Saad to Dennis Savard.
What is that?
Whoa.
Oh. That's not
many years ago.
Not,
that's when I
no.
That's when I checked out on that whole thing. I was like, yep, this guy done.
All right. We are back Sunday for Hawks and Sharks.
Sharks.
5 o'clock.
St. Patrick's Day. If
Hawk
you're
drop.
Sharks.
And by the way, if you're out and about this weekend with St. Patty's Day, be safe. Be smart.
Yeah.
Don't drive anywhere, especially like tonight and Sunday. If you're out now, take an Uber so I don't have to deal with you on the on the expressways. Like, be smart, be safe, drink in your own backyard if you can.
Yes.
But just be smart out there. Like we
in your own backyard too.
Yeah, I don't care about that. Just everybody be safe and make it through the weekend healthy and alive.
So you can see another St. Patrick's Day.
Right. And so you could see, more awesome. So you can watch Lucas Reichel develop into Quentin Byfield right in front of your eyes.
There you go. Same exact kind of player, as we said many times.
Same dude.
All right. We will talk to everybody Saturday. Again, 5 o'clock puck drop. So post game around 7:45, 8. We'll talk to you then. Have a safe weekend. Be good. We love you. Smash that like button on your way out if you haven't. And we'll talk to you Sunday on the CHGO Blackhawks Podcast.
We all silly like the mayor.